heck are you thinking? Bringing another child when you can't even take care of the first one. Families cannot put food on the table because prices are so high. I had to do a reaction video on this one.
Prices continue to rise. Shoppers are getting creative.
We know many of you are feeling the strain. We feel it too. That is why we are taking an in-depth look at food prices and how they're impacting all of us.
Our Erin Cantrell shares the story of a single mom navigating these challenges and the solutions available for all of us.
I was raised by a single mom. So I know what it's like trying to figure out how are you going to buy food when you're a single mom. How do you do that? I have actually lived it.
If you can count to 10, that's going to be enough. Because he will eat the whole container if I let him.
Elmira Cheney makes sure her son Ethan gets a little snack before dinner.
1, 2, 3.
But portion control isn't just about nutrition.
No.
It's a necessity. As a single mom, money is tight.
I get that. Yes, portion control is very, very important. But did you guys notice what he's eating? He's eating blueberries, fresh blueberries. That's just about the most expensive fruit you can get in the grocery store. And he's putting it in a little baggie. Why isn't he putting it in a little reusable cup or something? Maybe she does wash out and reuse her baggies, but the majority of people don't. So I don't know if that's the case for her, but the majority of people don't rewash and use their baggies. So why isn't he getting his blueberries in a cup and sitting at the table and just eating them? But don't buy your kids blueberries and raspberries and blackberries. Those are super expensive, especially this time of year. If that was me in that situation, I would be buying the oranges that were on sale for 67 cents last week and stocking up on those oranges. For that same container of blueberries, she probably paid about $4 or $5 for that container of blueberries. She probably could have got 7 to 8 oranges or apples, which is a whole lot more filling than those few blueberries. And then next, also to save money, just give him a bowl and let him eat out of a bowl. He doesn't need a disposable baggie to be eating out of. We are going to give you our Dining on a Dime cookbook ebook, volume number 1, free at livingonadime.com. Click on our shop, click on our ebooks, click on Dining on a Dime volume 1, add it to your cart. When you go to checkout, use the coupon code DINING1 and you will get our ebook absolutely free with no obligation and no strings attached. Visit us at livingonadime.com.
Not even I'm going to the store first. This is my budget. So what can I get within my budget?
It's a constant battle that comes with a lesson, teaching her son what needs are versus wants.
Okay, so we're learning about needs versus wants. That's great. I'm glad. But blueberries are definitely not a need, not even close to being a need.
So today we're going to do a skillet Alfredo.
Now, look at this picture here. She has name brand taco shells, and it looks like name brand cereal on top of the refrigerator. I really understand that this woman could possibly be getting these things from the food bank. I get that. If she's buying them with her food stamps or her money, don't be buying the name brands. Get the store brand. Wait till those items are on sale. Get them at a discounted grocery outlet type store where they have those discounted foods. All of those are ways that you can be saving money on groceries and not paying full price, but it doesn't take hardly any work at all. I mean, it takes no work at all to pick up the store brand box of cereal versus the name brand. And you'll save $1 to $2 a box at least.
It'll stretch for dinner tomorrow.
She's doing a skillet Alfredo. I was like, what in the world? Are you kidding me? So I went to go look to see how much that is. And it is $4.97 at my local Walmart. And I went and looked at the nutrition information. There is 3 servings in here for $5. Now I could do an entire meal for $5 for 4 grown adults. So that's actually really super expensive. But here's the thing. It has 12 grams of protein per serving, which means it just has a little over 5 ounces of chicken in that meal. So it's not even a full serving of meat for each one of those meals. If she would get some pasta and some individual bags of vegetables and some chicken and just cook up the entire thing of chicken all in one day, then just make different dinners out of it. Like she could do stir fry one night. She could do chicken and noodles another night. She could do chicken and vegetables another night. She could do green chili or something. I mean, I know she has a little kid. Green chili is kind of probably spicy, but you guys can tell those are all my go-to dinners. But what I'm saying is she could cut her dinners in half if she would make them from scratch. That's not really a scratch dinner. I mean, I would give her credit. It's way better, way better than going out to eat. So I'm giving her kudos for that because that's way better than going out to eat. But still, she could cut it back if she wanted to.
She recently lost her SNAP benefits, but still receives WIC, a federal assistance program. But it only covers so much at the grocery store. It only comes once a month. Nowhere near enough for her and her son to get by, she says.
Okay, yeah, WIC is not supposed to be feeding your entire family for the month. WIC is to help give children and pregnant women a little bit of a boost. But even with that, still, you can get a lot of food on WIC every month. So no, it's not supposed to be feeding your child, but it can be a big help.
Definitely is times that I go without to make sure that he has what he needs. And that's from food to clothes to anything. Many nights crying after he sleeps because it's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this today.
Okay. I feel really bad for this lady because I know she just doesn't get it. But here's a couple of things. First of all, I'm not sure if she's pregnant or overweight. If she's overweight, she needs to start using the portion control on herself and get some weight off. That will help her save money on her grocery bill. Sorry, it's not cool to be saying those things nowadays. We all have to be fat positive and all this. But the truth is, if you're having that big of a problem with your food bill, you need to cut back. The next thing is, it looks like she could possibly be pregnant. If she is a single mom and she's pregnant, what in the heck are you thinking? Bringing another child when you can't even take care of the first one. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that this particular lady is pregnant. I don't know. I can't tell from the video the way it's set up for sure. So this may not be her in particular, but I have seen this time and time and time again. Women can't pay their bills. They go and get pregnant again. And then they're whining and crying about how they can't pay their bills and take care of their kids. And the kids' no good dads aren't paying child support or staying with them. Well, ladies, having your desires met is not a right. It's a privilege. It really is. It is not a right to be able to do anything you want and then expect everyone else to pay for it. I don't know how else to put that delicately, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So sometimes, yes, I understand, and I know that some people are in situations where they just got stuck and they can't do anything. But already, I can see several places where if this lady would make different choices, she wouldn't be in the situation she's in right now. She would be able to pay for food and take care of her child. She would be able to start making her life better and getting ahead of things so that she's just not always falling behind all the time.
The people Asking for help now aren't just those living in poverty.
And even starting to inch towards the upper class. Folks who have PhDs, folks who have been in high earning industries are saying, hey, I'm down on my luck and I need some help.
Okay, I'm sorry. If you are in the middle class or the upper middle class and you're having to go to a food bank to get food because you cannot afford food, 99.9% of you, it's because you are making bad choices. So now you're expecting everyone else to pay for your food, to pay for your bills, to pay for your student loans, to pay for whatever. You made a bad choice getting student loans that got you behind to start off with. You made a bad choice getting a degree in a field that doesn't pay off those student loans. You made a bad choice in getting a car with a car loan instead of driving a beater until you can save up the money to get a nice car. You made a choice to live in the city you do that you can't afford. You made a choice to get your hair done. You made a choice to get your nails done. You made a choice to go out to eat. You made a choice to go out on vacation. It is extremely rare where people who have ended up in this type of a situation where they have to go to a food bank to ask for food because of some very bad problem, like a medical bill or something like their house was completely flooded and lost, like happened in the devastations last September or October in North Carolina with the hurricanes and the rains and the floods, the fires that we had here in Wyoming, and everything's wiped out. And for whatever reason, insurance won't cover it. It is extremely rare that those types of situations are why people are having to go to the food bank. The majority of those situations is because you have made bad choices and you don't want to give up those choices. You've been drinking your sodas, you've been eating your salmon, you've been eating your steak, you've been eating your blueberries instead of getting your finances in order. So it's absolutely ridiculous that middle to upper class people are having to go to food banks to get food because they refuse to take responsibility for their choices.
400 more requests compared to 2022.
But we share this information with elected officials across the city and across the state.
Okay, that's great that they're sharing it with all of these, whoever they're sharing it with across the state. But how is that going to stop people from making bad choices? Until you hold people accountable for their choices, they are not going to stop. They're just going to keep going to the food bank. They're going to keep whining about how they can't pay their student loans. They can't pay their house payments. They can't pay their car payments. Instead of going to the government, people need to start being held accountable. And then maybe they'll be able to start affording to pay for their own groceries.
The USDA predicts food prices will increase by 3.4% this year. But Xavier warns that's just an estimate.
In the same report, the next line is written with a prediction interval 1.1 to 5.9.
Okay, 2.9, I think is what it said, to 5.9. If you do not have enough margin in your budget to handle basically 6% increase in your food budget, then you need to figure out how to either get a better job, how to stop having such a spending lifestyle, what you can buy that will spend less. Let's say you have a $600 food bill. That's a $36 increase. Yes, that's a lot. But if you don't have a $36 cushion in your budget, there is something really wrong. Let's say this single mom and her son spend $200 a month on groceries. I'm sure they spend way more when we get to a couple more things up here, but let's say they spend $200 more on their grocery budget. That is $12 more a month that her grocery bill will be going up. That is nothing. That is absolutely nothing. And you'll see why I say that's absolutely nothing.
3.4.
He doesn't expect food prices to drop this year or next.
Now, did you see what they were showing? They were showing riblets for $19.99, and then they were showing free range or cage free or whatever it was, eggs. Well, of course those things are going to be more expensive. Don't buy those types of food. I find it So infuriating when they show these things. They don't show the $2.99 a pound hamburger. They don't show the $3.75 that I just paid for eggs at Dollar General the other day. No, they got to show the $8 eggs. Why? Because it makes the news story sound more real, as if food prices actually are a problem.
Myra, she plans to keep working hard and praying.
Amen.
Because she has no other choice.
Did you just catch what I saw? She's drinking a soda. She can't pay for a $12 increase in her grocery bill if she's spending $200 a month for her and her son. But she can spend $12 or $14 on a 12 pack of soda. Really? Now, I know I'm going to get some person that always says, well, maybe that was given to her. Maybe she got it from the food bank. I totally understand that. But I have been counseling people on their grocery budgets for 28 years now. 28 years. And I guarantee you, 99.9% of those people are not receiving those as gifts. They are spending their money buying them at the store. 30% of people's grocery bills are sodas and coffee and juice, all of these unnecessary drinks, when you can just drink water, coffee, tea, all of this stuff. It's 30% of your budget is drinks. So she can't afford a $12 increase in her grocery budget, but she can't afford the soda.
It's a struggle, but your child doesn't see it. They don't feel it. All they see is a great mom, a great parent. So let that be your motivation to keep going.
Yes, she is 100% right about that. Your kids are not going to know the difference. Your kids are not going to know if they don't have the fruit stacks, if they don't have the little bags of prepackaged chips, if they don't have the Lunchables. And even if they do, it's okay to tell them, I'm sorry, I just cannot afford this right now. This is what we have to eat. I can afford Lunchables. I can afford all of those snacks and stuff, and I still do not buy them. My son this morning took a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to school with some cookies that we put in a little baggie and some chips. It's okay. If he wants baby carrots, then he'll have that, or he'll do some soup or something. But I don't go and buy Lunchables except for special occasions. I don't go and buy soda except for once or twice a year when it's on sale. And when it's gone, we don't buy it anymore. I don't buy fresh blueberries and raspberries and blackberries and strawberries just because they sound good. I eat the vegetables that are in season right now. My apples, my oranges, bananas, or even canned fruits in light syrup or their own juice. All of those are perfectly fine alternatives, but it's not costing you 2, 3, 4 times the amount of having those fancy things like blueberries and strawberries. So while I understand it is hard for people right now where grocery prices are going up and they think they can't afford it, I can pretty much guarantee you that any person that came to me, I could show them where they could cut in their grocery bill to save money. There will be a few, because we have a few on our channel, who are super ultra frugal, but pretty much anybody can cut in their grocery bill if they want to. The question is, do you want to or not? Now, I don't want you guys to think that I am just picking on this lady. She chose to be on the news and share her story, and I give her kudos for that. But listen to what she said here.
So definitely is times that I go without to make sure that he has what he needs. And that's from food to clothes to anything. Many nights crying after he sleeps because it's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this today.
She goes to bed crying many nights, and she goes to bed hungry many nights. I'm just trying to give solutions for her problem. So if I was in this situation, and I have been in this situation before where we just really did not have money for groceries, and I was super careful, what did I do? No sodas or anything like that were purchased at all. Absolutely no sodas, no gummy anything, no fresh fruit or berries other than apples or oranges or bananas that were inexpensive on sale then. We would get grapes when they were on sale then. But I did not buy blueberries. I have only bought blueberries a few times in our entire 30 years of marriage because they're just too expensive. What else? If she got all that food at the food bank, more kudos to her. And I totally get it. And I'm fine with that. But if she was buying the name brand cereal and the name brand taco shells and the soda with her food stamp benefits or her own money, either one of those, I would not buy the name brand at all. I would get the cheapest that I could get. I would stock up so that when I lost my food stamp benefits or I lost my WIC benefits or whatever I'm getting help with now, I will have a cushion of several months because I took that extra that I was getting from the food stamps by not buying all of the expensive foods and put them in the stockpile. And I understand maybe she has a medical problem, which is why she's overweight, or maybe she's pregnant and her husband just left her or something like that. They didn't mention anything like that. So I don't know her situation. But I can tell you, after talking to people for 28 years doing this, there are a lot of times that it's the women just making bad choices. And if you would start making good choices, then you could get your life turned around. And I'm just trying to show you where those bad choices are so you can start making better choices. Comment and let me know what you think about this video. Go watch this video next if you want to save money on your grocery bill with meals that will feed the entire family for $5, not per serving, for the entire meal. We will see you guys next time, livingonadime.com.